So it's the end of December. It's warm outside. There's no snow. We're going to try and go camping. Weather's not so great today, but we'll make for a boring drive, but hopefully we can make it there. The campsite we'll be going to is going to be up in near Michigan on Lake Superior. It's normally an unmaintained road and would be buried in snow right now. But looking at webcams in the area, looks like no snow, so we're going to give it a try. If there is any snow, we'll have to turn around. But driving here in the winter, I think, is going to test the limits of our van and its ability. As you can see, the drive, just like I said, pretty horrible. Foggy, thick fog. But one thing to note, when I was driving here, the sound in the back. Let's just listen to the silence. All the rattles are gone. All the work to get rid of that, getting rid of the blinds and everything, did a pretty good job. Drive was pretty uneventful. Did have one close encounter. That's 2 bald eagles. I think that eagle was trying to check the van out. It's captured on dash cam. They actually were very close. The dash cam makes it look a little further away, but they were pretty close. So getting closer to Michigan, or we're in Michigan now at this point, but we're getting closer to the campsite and there's snow. So we're looking at webcams for near the coast and there's no snow, it looks like, on the webcam, so we're going to keep on pushing, see if we can make it into our campsite. So this is the final stretch of road we got to go on to get to the campground. So this is the unfinished portion. This has been reworked this summertime. So this very straight, level part that the van is parked on right now is a brand new road. They've made like a cut through. The campground is on an old section of this road that's been kind of excluded now. This little connecting road goes up to the old road. So I'm kind of walking up there just to kind of pre-walk this. Driving by, it looked very soft, and I wanted to make sure it was wide enough. This kind of brings out the limitations, like why I made this video today. So one of the limitations, when we came back here initially, we not have a spare tire. So we started driving on this road, and there were so many like lumps, and it was uneven, and there were big holes, and we decided that we can't make it on this road without a spare tire. We should just have that just in case. Another limitation is the weight and the ground clearance of this van. If I go off into one of these shoulders, I'm going to be stuck. It'll be so easy to get stuck in this van because it's so, like, it just doesn't have the ground clearance. So I think that traction boards are in my future. I'm driving on this road. I was careful. I always tried to stay in the middle. Obviously, I pre-walked this road just to see, because I could not see what it was going to turn into at the top. And this was kind of new to us. We have no cell service, so we can't check the maps to make sure, but we kind of knew that we had to be closer to the coast. But yeah, I think traction boards are going to be very necessary. So this is the old road. This is the road that we kind of drove on previously without a spare tire. And like this hole I just kind of squeezed through between 2 holes, that was like 6 to 8 inches deep, full of like frozen ice or full of frozen water. It was making ice, but it's still, if I had the gray water drain on there, it would have got torn off if I would have went down in that little dip. So total distance on this sandy gravel road was about 6 miles. So that'd be 6 miles of unmaintained street. As far as it goes for this older version of the road, though, we only had to do like half a mile on this older version. So not a whole lot of dodging big holes, and it wasn't too bad. You can kind of see up here on the right, this must be how they intend to connect the park to the newer road. But it's not really like packed down or anything. There's no way you could drive on that. So here's the entrance to the campground. Kind of sweet. Like you kind of drive down, super on the corner. That's Lake Superior, just outside those trees. Not going to lie, it was a little bit eerie. Sun's going to set in like 30, 40 minutes. It's short days up here, but a little eerie pulling into these places and there's not a single human. Not another camper or anything. Kind of makes you realize how alone you are. And then with no cell service, kind of start thinking about things like, man, how can I be more self-reliant? So got parked in the camp spot, just kind of looking around, just taking in the noises, or should I say absent of noises. Listen how quiet this is. There's nobody around. Got the fire started. It's almost gonna be dark. Get situated, maybe eat something. Pro tip, if you're going camping at a state park or state forest, make sure you got a pen. We were able to make one out of a stick, just sharpened it, and then we used ash from the fire with a little bit of water to make it actually able to write on something. So if you watch my other videos, we go up to Lake Superior and we like to go hunt for these rocks at nighttime. They're called yooperlites, but you have to hunt for them in like complete darkness. So this is what it looks like. It's total blackness. You kind of just walk along the edge of the beach, you can hear the waves. You can kind of see where the black light is on the phone, and then you look for these lights that'll glow. If you do decide to do this, make sure you take glow sticks or something. What we're looking at right there is that's the trail that goes back to the van. That way you can find your way back out, because it all looks the same. It is all just total darkness. Wasn't a bad haul. The majority of these, their golf ball are smaller, but that big one, that's 4.5 pounds. That's probably the biggest one I think I've seen online or anything, looking at what people have found. So a pretty good haul here. It helps. There were no footprints of people on the beach, so nobody's been here looking for them lately. And then here's the next morning. This is what the beach looks like. So this is looking to the east, and that's looking to the west. There's no cities, no people, this entire stretch of beach. So now it's Christmas Eve. We better just head home. Trip was a success. We made it to the campground. The van made it all the way back. I would say that this is pretty much the limit of the Thor Sanctuary with the Ford Transit chassis. And this road, I mean, overall is pretty good. You can bring a car back here. But the ground clearance on this van is not as good as you might think. And this van was about the limit of what I think you could reasonably do in this van. Here on this corner, you can see, so with like the old road going straight, no way I could drive on that. I would sink. There's that little connecting road. This corner is a good example of the limit, because if I made this like too sharp of a turn, I would bottom us out here on the right side, and I would probably the nose would be on one end and the propane tank would be stuck on the other, and we'd be off the ground. Don't even know if recovery boards can make it. So definitely have to pay attention. Make sure I swing wide here and stay on the more solid part and don't sink in that center. Drive home was easy. And then just to show, if you're looking at these vans, I've modified this drain on this side, but normally there's a gray water drain right there, and it's about 3 to 4 inches off the ground. I've removed mine. I've capped it off for winter. That gives me a lot more ground clearance. Had I had that drain on there, it definitely would have got taken off on one of those uneven surfaces on that road. And then the propane tank, it hangs lower than the rear differential, so it's also something to think about that it's going to hit the ground. And then if you never had to jump start your van, I didn't have to jump start it, but I was thinking about it. When you have no phone service and there's nobody around, you kind of think about things. You know, we had the spare tire, but what if we needed to jump the next morning? So I did order a portable jump starting battery pack. And then this is where it goes. There's a little bolt that sticks out. There's a picture right above it that shows you where to stick it on the bare metal. That's your negative side. And then it goes over here, and underneath that red cap, that's your positive. And then I got this Noco Boost Plus, the 1000 amp one. Thor also includes this emergency start switch, which basically, when you press the switch in, it creates a parallel connection between your front batteries and back batteries. This could be used to jumpstart your van, but it has to work. And then just to show, everybody likes fuel economies, so pretty much kind of stayed in the 15 miles per gallon range. Did get as high, 16.6 I think was our highest on this trip. And our lowest one was 12, but that was mainly like idling through and driving on those dirt roads back in the kind of like backcountry campground, kind of idling it, warming it up in the campground, getting all the condensation off the window. So that one was really low. And then electrical use, we started out at 100%. We went to batteries at 3 p.m. And then we stayed there until 9:30 to 10 a.m. the next day. And we lost 20% of our battery. So that's really not too bad. Overall, I mean, 20% running the fridge, lights, and the heat all night long, that's pretty good. So that's about it. I'm going to post an update video on the aluminous tire carrier, just some things I've kind of observed and considerations with having it. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.